All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us in today's video. Today we're looking at what is a zkEVM and essentially understanding how Ethereum scales. In our previous video, we looked into the introduction to zero knowledge proofs, zk snarks and zk starks, and a quick primer overview video that I think was really helpful with getting the gear rolling with understanding what zero knowledge proofs are and how they are important in everyday world, especially in like scaling, the blockchain, and essentially going over the differences between zero knowledge starks and snarks and all of that cool stuff. Today, we're looking at what is a zkEVM and trying to understand how Ethereum scales. It's a very relatively high level, ideology that has been brought in this video to simplify a lot of things. So let's get into it. We have our intro, and then we will go over what an EVM is as a recap before we proceed to defining what a zkEVM is. And then we will talk about scaling Ethereum with zero knowledge Ethereum virtual machine, which is a zkEVM. So an EVM recap, what is an EVM? The EVM, which stands for the Ethereum Virtual Machine, is a virtual computer that enables developers to build decentralized application on the Ethereum blockchain. So that is essentially what the EVM is. Now the EVM is also where transactions are processed. This is important to know as it sets the premise for why zkEVMs are important. Now that we have that framework to work with, so the EVM exists as an entity by itself as a means where blockchain developers can write and build smart contracts on top and solve, and solve that problem of building things on the blockchain. The zkEVM takes that a step further, and let's look into that real quick. The zkEVM is essentially can be said to be the Ethereum virtual machine with the ability to run zero knowledge proof computation. So this is one definition of what the zkEVM is, and is a really, really, straightforward one. It's essentially can be thought of as the Ethereum virtual machine with the ability to run zero knowledge proof computation. I like to think of the zkEVM as like the EVM plus plus, right? Or the EVM Pro Max, if you will. So it's essentially a step further to what the EVM currently is. Another way we can think of the zkEVM is some form of an emulator, for smart contracts to run on the Ethereum, on the zkEVM with the added benefit of zero knowledge proof. So smart contracts currently can only run on the Ethereum virtual machine. With the zkEVM, we are able to put smart contracts on a zkEVM with the benefit of zero knowledge proof, and in this sense zero knowledge proof scaling. So it comes with the scaling, the security, and then much better UX design as far as building things on the blockchain goes. So the zkEVM promises to do this for smart contracts developers who already build things on the Ethereum blockchain. So we'll go into and look at how zkEVMs are going to be scaling Ethereum. But before we get into that, we're going to look into what the Ethereum blockchain and how transactions currently look like at this point in time. So what we currently have here, before zkEVMs were introduced, we have this, which means we have a batch of well, not a batch of transactions, we have singular transactions that spread across the blockchain, and they are coming into the Ethereum network. So what we have there is multiple transactions that are coming into the Ethereum network. So the Ethereum network can only handle about 20 transactions per second. So that is stifling. That is not very exciting. But when we introduce zkEVMs and zk rollup scalability, we're able to batch all of those transactions into one single transaction, and then we send a proof of that transaction to the blockchain. So essentially, a zk rollup takes multiple transactions, handles them off chain, handles the computation off chain, brings those transactions together, and then sends a proof of the validity of that transaction down to the Ethereum blockchain, to the Ethereum network, and the Ethereum network, computes and checks and verifies if indeed the transaction that has been, presented is true. And once it is true, it gets added to the node and everything, it gets added to the blockchain and everything proceeds as usual. Now we can see here essentially that once we introduce scaling, we can take that multiple layers ahead, right? We have multiple batches of transactions coming in per second. So we're talking moving from 20 transactions per second to about 1,000, 10,000 possibly, and that scale just completely changes everything as we know it. And that is the beauty of zkEVMs and how they intend to scale Ethereum. So to the left, we currently have, what we have before zkEVMs are multiple transactions coming into the blockchain with not very exciting speed to them. And then now we hope to have, well, actually do have, because these are live, these roll up and these zkEVMs are live, have zkEVMs that are able to batch transactions and then put them into a single transaction. And this significantly increases how many transactions we can run on the Ethereum blockchain at a time. So that has been it for this video. It's a pretty straightforward one, like I said, nothing too fancy, but just getting the general idea of what a zkEVM is and getting us to understand and to get the gear rolling. So thank you for watching. Thank you for watching that video. It was really fun to make, really fun to understand what zkEVMs are and how they scale Ethereum, and obviously trying to communicate that. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you found it educative. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. We'll be talking a bit more about zero knowledge proof, but more so into protocols that are building with and on zero knowledge, and also getting a bit more technical with looking at, we'll be looking at code and maybe some math into how zero knowledge proof work. There are a ton of resources online already, but if you want to join me on this journey as we explore the beautiful world of zk, I'll be more than happy to have you. So please give this video a like again, and then subscribe so you don't miss more videos like this one. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching and take it easy.